So Liz.
Zach, what is happening to me?
I'm transforming.
Oh my God. Is
Liz,
this just a setup for another stupid thing that you've done?
Liz, like a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis, I have reached a new point of metamorphosis.
Oh,
Can I tell you more?
I guess you're gonna have to.
I'm so glad you're invested in this. So I was on parental leave for a very long time, and so many things left my body. So many things left my body during that period.
Yeah. That's real.
My perfect complexion. My outfits that were milkless. I didn't realize that I was signing up for
Constant milk stains
just
everywhere.
Stain City.
And formula is stains.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it just kind of looks like I have stains all over my shoulders, which makes it look like I have a much more exciting personal life than I do.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I have gained in this transformation that I have found in the birdhouse of my soul
is a human baby.
I guess so. I wasn't really thinking about it. I guess there was like
I wasn't thinking about her. You also gained the ability to go, as the father of a daughter.
No, well, that's not how I say it. I say, I'm a father. How dare you?
As the father of a daughter, I feel like I can weigh in on any issue that concerns women.
I did immediately change my Twitter bio
to father of a daughter.
Christian father.
Christian veteran father of a daughter.
Not a veteran.
And then all of a sudden you started then just sending me hate mail on Instagram. I've gotten a lot of that this week.
Have you?
Yeah. Because I had a reel go, not viral, just get really popular.
Big in Iowa.
You know what they say? Iowa rich, Chicago poor. Iowa viral is Chicago flop.
My tweets are, my TikToks are an Iowa 10, actually.
And an LA 2. Okay, so what did you gain besides a whole human?
I'm so glad you asked and are so invested in my journey. I developed new small talk like you wouldn't believe. Oh. Elizabeth, I've learned that I don't actually have to have anything interesting to say. You don't have to have a
personality.
I can just show pictures of my child to strangers, and that greases the wheels of progress.
Yeah.
This is a superpower.
No, I know.
I don't think I had to have a child.
You just had to fake.
I think
I kidnapped a baby. Is that what you're saying?
In retrospect, and hear me out. I think if you're listening to this podcast and you don't have an immediate baby that you can,
that's good.
That is good. We love that for you. Just go get some pictures from the internet and start saying, "Have you seen this?" You don't got to say it's yours. Just say like, "Have you seen this baby?"
My new bit now is I'm going to comment AI slop under every single person's baby pictures. And I know so many people who've had babies in the past year, and I am going to just go AI slop, AI slop.
Fake news.
Fake baby, fake news. No, but like a baby
You're going to neg your friends' children pictures.
I am negging my friends' children's baby pictures because I was realizing because everybody's doing that like 2016 flashback thing.
Mm.
And like even 10 years ago, my kids were still older than your kid. Like I am so far into the parenting journey.
You are true to this, not new to this.
I am true to this, not new to this. But I will say, yes, I have used my babies as a shield in journalism so many times, like as a way
they just absorb so much pepper spray. It's crazy how
human baby shields. Like the Iowa Republicans are yelling at me, so I hold up my blonde-haired, blue-eyed daughter, and I'm like, "Look, I made an Aryan.
I'm one of you.
Leave me alone.
I'm one of you. Yeah."
And then she gives him the finger, and I'm like, "Not now,
not
sweetie.
now. Wait,
wait.
We gotta be in the car and leaving."
Yeah,
before you put on your Antifa onesie.
She does not consent to that. But I will say, like, especially as a mother, it's easy to use your kids to just be like, "Oh, I'm just a mom. Like, I'm just a mom," as like a way to like go under the radar. However, it comes back to you as a woman in that people don't take you seriously. Like I had a Huffington Post journalist emailed me this week to be like, "Can you tell me how, as a mother, you feel compelled to post about Minneapolis. And I was like, I'm a journalist. I went there for journalism. That's why I'm posting about it. She's like, as a mother. And you're like, my job is in my bio. I'm a serious person. I do this professionally. And so like it goes both ways, right? Where you can kind of use it to like slip in under the radar. And I definitely have. I think saying that I'm just a Midwestern mom was the reason I got to interview Tucker Carlson one time for that profile that I wrote of him in 2017, 2018.
Did you lead with?
I did. I called when I got through to the PR person. Well, I had his email. I had gotten his email through sources, and I sent him an email. And I was just like, I'm writing for Columbia Journalism Review, and I'm just a mom in the Midwest trying to understand everything that's going on. And then when the
girl, you started with, I am just a girl.
And when the PR person called me, she ended up calling me randomly on the day when I was chaperoning a field trip for my daughter to a farm, like a local hobby farm. And so I took the call and I was like, we're just out on a school trip on a farm. And it was perfect, but like
pretty good.
It made me seem toothless.
Did you
I
like
wish I had planned that. Because that would have been even more clever, but no, it just ended up happening. But then the other thing happens too, where people refuse to take you seriously because you're a mother.
Fascinating.
You know, and I think that is right. Like that's the environment we've always lived in. So it works for you as a man because you can be like, you take me seriously, and also now I have a child. And actually, statistically, men when they have babies, they end up getting like paid more, and women have like the baby penalty where they start getting paid less or like promoted less. So what I'm pointing out
I'm gonna have to get with my boss. We gotta. I didn't realize a pay raise was coming my way.
Well, you're more likely to get pay raises because more likely. In the back I don't like of people's that. Minds, they're like, oh, he's a father. Whereas
I'm
like
a provider.
Moms, they're all like, oh, she's a mother. That means she's gonna flake out. So we're not gonna. Yeah, there's whole bodies of study. Eve Rodsky, read it.
Hello and welcome to the Dingus of the Week, a weekly show where we stare down the long void of America's future and see who blinks first. I'm Zachary Oren Smith. I write about politics for Iowa Starting Line, and I'm here with LENZ, the author of the Dingus of the Week newsletter. This podcast is the audio second course to the newsletter's visual feast. Sign up at its new home on Patreon. That's patreon.com/LizLenz. Wherever you listen, you can help support the show by doing all of the following. Like and subscribe to our YouTube, rate and review us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Why not both? Share this episode in a group chat near you. And of course, become a patron of the Dingus Arts on patreon.com/LYZLENZ. Have a dingus of your own. Send us a voicemail at memo.fm/dingus. Leave a voicemail, and it might just make it to this very show. You might even hear some of them later this hour. Now, Liz, who is the Dingus of the Week?
Zach, what would you sacrifice to go viral? Like what's your limit?
Now that I have my firstborn,
I would give her up immediately.
Shipped down the Nile in a reed basket or no? Very little, actually. Famously, folks that go viral don't stay that way, and it ends up going badly for them.
Actually, that's so funny because the other day I was looking up like what happened to Hawk to a girl, and
well, there was the Bitcoin that she tried to scam.
I think she's still facing legal troubles from that. So as I've gone viral a couple of times, and it's always like. It's never lasted. It's not like Mark Zuckerberg shows up to your house and hands you a top hat and the keys to the internet.
Here's your monocle.
Right. Like it just kind of ends up being like a weird, horrible situation. And then you get like a lot of hate and or like the condescension. But like.
That's mostly from me, though.
That's mostly from Zach. But like Nick Shirley is a YouTuber. A white man in America, the biggest terrorist in America, And he went viral in 2025 because he went to these Somali daycares and he knocked on the doors and, was like doing these videos. And then when they wouldn't let him in, he was like, look, see, there's fraud. Nobody is here because they won't let me in. And so he's alleging that there's all these frauds happening at these Somali daycares, specifically picking on, daycares where there are Black people. So it's really a Timu Ronald Reagan here, right? Like he's really just like, he's like, what if welfare queen, but we make it dumber and less not even less factually based, because welfare queen was like completely a myth. And so, but this video goes viral and, Republicans have used it now to justify a lot of what is now happening in Minneapolis. And so Nick Shirley, for these reasons,
Squirrely Shirley
is our dingus of the week. But like, we have to be clear, because this keeps getting lost in the conversation, is that like his viral videos are based on nothing. Like there was fraud at some daycares, not Somali daycares specifically, but at some daycares undercover, like revealed in 2019. And then, Minnesota, like investigators found this, they passed some laws, they held some people accountable. And fraud is like specifically you're charging the government for kids who are not in your daycares.
Right. Misusing government funds.
Well, that's the definition of fraud that happens with the daycares.
Totally.
Like there can be accidental overpayments or underpayments, like that. And so all of that happened in 2019, but then in 2025, Shirley was like, now it's like, this whole thing. And so now when you talk about like, hey, ICE is violently kidnapping people in American citizens. And I just want to say real quick, it doesn't matter if they're immigrants or citizens. They shouldn't be violently kidnapped off the streets.
They should be given due process matters.
Yeah, like really due process, like
un-American take these days.
Wow, hate to sound like a founding father, but have we considered like habeas corpus? Like
my Federalist Papers are falling out of my pocket.
I'll start parting my hair down the middle and start looking like George Washington.
We should get you a powdered wig. That'd be a fun costume.
My daughter is always trying to get me to part my hair down the middle, and so is my hairstylist. My hairstylist, shout out to Anna, who's probably watching this clip wondering how I styled my hair that day. She's always like, why are you always styling your bangs funny? Anyway,
it is pretty funny looking.
Shout out Anna, who's constantly judging me, but too bad I have more TikTok followers than her now.
Eat shit, Anna.
But be nice, because you're the reason I have it.
Literally the worst person you could possibly go after is your hairstylist. That's the person with the most power over like your immediate situation.
And she's good too. Like she's hot and good. But we were talking about fraud in Minnesota.
That's right.
So then when you say like, hey, I shouldn't be doing these things, or, shooting people in the face, then everybody's like, but what about the fraud? As if the two were equivalent. But this fraud, quote unquote, scandal, this made up scandal is so bad that it's been, like Walls has been dealing with tons of death threats. Trump and Vance have been feeding this fake news because, something beautiful about America is that men who are running the country have not been stopped by something called facts or truth. I mean,
never stopped me.
They're all just like, not in this economy, fake money, fake news.
Yeah.
So it's getting really, really bad, but the two are not equivalent.
That's right.
Even if there was rampant fraud in the daycare system in Minnesota, that wouldn't justify going in and federally occupying a city. And what's happening in Minnesota is so awful. It's, they're sending in more ICE agents, more Customs and Border Patrol agents than they've sent into almost any city.
Thousands of agents, 1,000 more in the last, based on the last of Trump's
and
orders.
It's bad news. I've been a real upper this week. Like
Well, I mean, you were in on the streets of
I
Minneapolis
was in
covering this, right?
yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that trip?
Yeah, so I'm I am a journalist by trade, as we've talked about, and so are you, and I am also working on a book that is about the Midwest and politics and community. And so I had been planning on going to Minnesota for a long time, and then this happened and I was like, okay, well, I better go now. And I'll be back again in a couple of weeks, but like I went out and was talking to activists and organizers on the ground who are, who've seen ICE agents take teachers, who've seen ICE agents take parents from their kids in front of a school, in front of a school bus. And these organizers are, organizing meal trains. They're doing formula drop-offs for families who are too afraid to leave their homes. And I was, walking around the neighborhood where Renee Nicole Good was murdered.
Mhm.
And right about the time there was a big protest, and there were families in their homes that they had the windows like all covered up with cardboard.
Mhm.
And they had like one window open and they had a couple kids leaning out the window and the mom, and they were Hispanic, and they were like, "Thank you so much for protesting. This really means a lot." And the kids were waving and saying
Mm.
thank you. And then, and then I go talk to an organizer whose, front porch is just like filled with diapers. And that's what she's going to do that day, is go to
Mm.
apartment complexes and give diapers. So it's like, it's very beautiful to see the way the community is showing up for each other, but it's also really hard to see that kind of violence happening. And it's impacting the whole city. This is a federally occupied city.
That's right.
Donald Trump has sent in troops, and he is militarizing the government against the people, against our democratically elected processes. And that's happening because George Floyd happened in Minneapolis.
Right.
It's happening because Tim Walz, took punches against Trump. It's happening because Ellen Omar is, popular and happens to be Muslim and a Black woman and is the target of so much racism.
Right.
And continues to be. And all of this is happening. Melissa Hortman, State Senator Melissa Hortman, who was murdered. It happened there. And so all of this is a way of attacking Minnesota. So it's just, you go there and, I was talking, my brother lives there, my niece and nephew live there.
Mhm.
And my little nephew was just like, I'm making the Donald Trump Protection League where I protect people against Donald Trump. and
It's got to be so hard for children.
they're scared.
Yeah.
They're so scared. I was talking to a man who was just like, I had to hold my daughter last night. And he's a Black man. He's a Somali immigrant. And he was like, my daughter is so scared to go to school. And like that is just the violence that's happening. And she's right to be scared, right? And and daycares can't open because people can't go to work because who staffs a daycare?
Right.
Immigrants.
Right.
Right? Like and restaurants are closed or have their doors locked because they're afraid of ICE agents. And again, I want to contrast this with like the ways people in Minnesota are showing up for each other. It's beautiful and wonderful and is completely ongoing, but it's also really hard to see the fear, the pain, the anger. People get hauled away. I was walking the dog and in north Minneapolis, and there was a construction site up like ahead of us, and I was just taking a break from reporting and walking the dog, and then I see these like black SUVs pull up to the construction site, and then I started hearing whistles, and by the time I got there, ICE agents were driving away.
Right.
And I was like, it was just the violence that happens. And I think there is something too, there is the violence happening to Black and brown families. Native Americans are getting called away in these raids. Like, talk about the original American. And but the other thing I think that's happening too is like the moral injury to our country. That like what the moral injury of seeing this happen and not being able to stop it, the moral injury of of watching your friends and neighbors then be silently complicit in this. Like, that is violence too.
Well, and then the cornball like brain worms that of watching that video and then running it through your like kind of ideological processor and deciding that actually we're fine with summary execution in the middle of an American street.
And it's not just Republicans doing this.
Absolutely not.
I am not going to name this person, but I have a dear friend I have a lot of dear friends who are journalists in Minneapolis, but I had coffee with one specific one who is so talented, as a person we both respect, and was just venting about how they are doing the work. Shout out to Minnesota Public Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Um and there are other places coming in and reporting stories like, well, we don't know, if Renee Good was accelerating, like doing that kind of like
Creating excuse after excuse after excuse
for the murder of a woman in broad daylight by an ICE agent. And it's like, we saw the video. NPR had people on the ground because they live in the neighborhood, because that's why local journalism is necessary, right? And they had people on the ground. They were the first people to get the footage and the interviews. They know what happened. And then you have these outside national news outlets coming in and being like, well, who's to say? The cops say this. It's like, your job is to say what happened, not say what the cops say. And it's so frustrating because the stakes are so high. And we've seen this happen over and over and over again, where the things we see with our eyes, we then get gaslit in the media, and then it gives people a vehicle to drive their little racism through our country.
That's right. Well, and you have you add to this that this is an instance where we had very clear video on, right? Multiple angles. We had not just the man, not just forgive me, Jonathan. Is it Jonathan Ross? Is the name?
Jonathan Ross.
Not only do we have Jonathan Ross, who changed his phone hand so that he could pull out his handgun, right?
Yes.
Not only do we have his footage, but we had at least two onlookers, maybe more. This is one of the documented instances. This is when we've had plenty of video, right? Can you imagine how many times they've gaslit us and there's been just like less information available that we can see with our eyes? That they're trying to gaslight us on this specific instance feels like it is a horse of a different color.
Well, and then it's like, well, she was
Antifa, right?
Right. She was part of a terrorist organization. I literally had somebody who has a good heart, doesn't pay attention to the news. The other day, I was out and about running errands. It's a small town.
You got to stop talking to folks when you're running errands, man.
And she was asking me, because she knows that this is my job, and she was like, "Can you explain why they're calling her a terrorist?"
Right.
She's like, because I keep hearing this, I keep reading it, and this is an intelligent person who's not like addicted to their phone, doesn't follow the news, but like an intelligent, well-meaning Democratic voter who was like, why did they keep calling her a terrorist? And I was like, well, she was part of a group that was following ICE vehicles and keeping track of them, which is legal.
Absolutely.
It is not terrorism to monitor what
an occupying army,
or the
police.
Group. Like you are allowed to record the police.
Right.
You are allowed to know what the cops are doing in your neighborhood. You are allowed to know what ICE is doing in the neighborhood. It was, she's like, yes, she was part of this group. They call them rapid response groups. They track and tail ICE vehicles, and again, totally fine, totally normal.
Right.
A tactic that has been used in LA, Chicago, San Francisco, and but because of that's why they're like, oh, she was a terrorist. And I think it just proves that it doesn't matter. And this lesson has been proven over and over again for the people listening who are like, I know, but it's worth learning over and over again that you can do everything right and still get murdered in broad daylight, and they will still look at you and tell you it's your fault.
Amen. And there are many excuses. Like Trump didn't need an excuse
No.
to send an occupying army.
No, he was
to
going to do it anyway.
but
Nick Shirley's or no.
Let's so tell me
Yes.
about Nick Shirley.
Oh yes, we can.
'Cause
So Nick
it's hard to unpack any of this and not be
Yes.
furious with like the
It is.
gestalt of it, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so Nick Shirley, he made these videos, and and that's being used to justify a lot of the violence. And but I do think a crazy thing about Nick Shirley is that he is so stupid.
Uniquely
right?
stupid.
Like uniquely stupid. Like this is what like Hannah Arendt meant by the banality of evil. Like this is just like, these are not the smartest people in our country, but like they become like the avatars of our hate just because they're like, I don't know, white men who wear a tie every once in a while. And, his allegations are like a catnip for a new generation of John Birchers, right? Like, and but this week he really showed off his butt. Like, and also like Nick Shirley is like, oh, I'm viral now. I'm like a cause celeb of the conservatives. He's selling these sweatshirts that say, wait, let me pull it up. They say Quality Learning Center 1-800-fraud, but like learning is misspelled.
Yeah,
So
like
it's
the
kind
sign
of like
that center.
yeah, so it's supposed to be like a ha 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 ha, I'm smarter than these daycares, making fun of people who are not learning. But then he was on a podcast today with Andrew Callaghan, another YouTuber.
Yep.
YouTube on YouTube violence. We love to see it. Yeah.
I thought this was super interesting because like you've been seeing Squirrely Shirley on
Yes.
a bunch. He's been doing news spots for major
Yes.
networks. He's been doing spots with like minor league ass networks.
He's like, how do I ride this interview train? How do I become so famous?
How do I get more of these sweatshirts? How do I sell more sweatshirts?
And he was making videos for years. Like he was making videos for years as like a teen.
Mhm.
And then he took a break to go on a mission. He's LDS, went a break to go on a mission, came back. And then all his videos were like super political. He like was at January 6th.
Yeah, he
a real cool guy.
He was. I mean, what was one of the I spent a bunch of time watching his video footage. I hopped in
for research.
I hopped in the alt-right pipeline just for fun, just for a joyride. And one of them, so he makes this video where he goes to Kyiv, Ukraine, in the middle of Russian invasion, right? And begins filming all of these like neighborhood streets where there are admittedly very nice cars on these private streets. And the caption of these videos, right, are like $175 billion for Ukraine, right? Like how could we all for a fake, with the allegation being that this is a fake war. Look at how these quiet suburban streets in Kiev. Meanwhile, like you have rockets on video flying into like nearby neighborhoods, right?
Right, because Ukrainians have nice cars, we shouldn't help them out.
Because a private citizen has a car, their sovereignty doesn't matter, their lives don't matter.
I don't really have that nice of a car, so I could use some help.
Well, and then he proceeds to go. This is like prior.
No.
You see the kind of like pattern.
So
you see the pattern for this because he was doing spots about this Kiev video. The very next week, talking about how his family is being attacked, that he's actually the victim after like trumping up these like allegations of fake invasions on behalf, like joining the Russian propaganda force.
He's like, I was at January 6th. I'm on the side of Russians in the war against Ukraine, but people are attacking me because I am the victim. How dare you attack me, somebody who is perpetuating violence against not just Black and brown people in my own country, but people in other countries too. How dare you? Please, I am but a baby. I am a victim. Leave my parents alone. It's like, sir, you leave Ukraine alone.
And why stop by supporting one authoritarian? Yes. Why can't you be in a propagandist du jour of every international authoritarian? He goes, there's this video that's been circulating of him in a prison in El Salvador. He's in front of a hangar of prisoners, right? Prisoners who are in front of sewing machines, sewing clothing on behalf of the prison. He did an advertisement for Bukele, saying how good what is inmate labor, what is enslaved labor.
It's enslaved labor.
Which, by the way, we allow in the United States. Don't get us started.
Do you remember in 2020 where everybody was like, oh, these masks were made by prisoners. Isn't that so great? And I was like, what in the holy neoliberal hell are we doing?
And I hope
I still wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat remembering that. Just, it's not like it's gone away, but it's just like, what the hell are we doing, guys?
We know enough issues with just how people get into the carceral system in the United States. You add on top of that how people get into Bukele's it's just such like,
no, but he's
such idiotic behavior, man. It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so guileless dumb. I couldn't get over it.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like murdering somebody and then claiming to be the victim because people are mad at you for murder.
You mentioned this Andrew Callaghan. So Andrew Callaghan, noted YouTuber from Channel 5. Noted YouTuber, I would say.
I guess, sure. All of these YouTubers have more followers than me, so I'm not going to be throwing stones.
Let me say why I think this is interesting.
Many of them.
Let me say why I think this interview is particularly interesting, not just for the content of it, which is, but it is very Andrew Callaghan in many internet circles has a lot of clout. He's a very beloved figure, and his show's been around, or not his show, but his work has been around for a while in the space. And there's some part of Nick Shirley in that interview, if you watch it, he kind of looks up to Andrew Callaghan, and he's kind of hyped to be on Channel 5. There's this way that he kind of gets suckered into these dumb answers by Andrew Callaghan. It's worth watching. I think it's a great interview.
It is worth watching. I did watch it, but I don't actually. This is not a knock on Andrew Callaghan, but the question he gives to Shirley that Shirley completely bungles is not a trick question.
Absolutely not.
He says, name 3 benevolent billionaires. The correct answer is, if you're a billionaire, you are not benevolent.
A benevolent. Yeah, we can play that clip. We can play that interaction right here.
Who do you think are the 3 most benevolent billionaires?
What do you mean by the word benevolent?
Just well-intentioned, positive billionaires who you think are creating, net positive societal progress.
Trump, our president. I think he's a good one. I think Elon Musk. I think what he's doing is creating innovation. He provides lots of jobs to people. I think that's a good one. And then the third one, I'd have to think about that.
What do you mean by the word benevolent?
Which, here's the deal. I in general,
it looks like he's just what? Why are you using such a big word on me, a little guy?
The asinine take that folks, you shouldn't be making fun of this guy for mispronouncing this word. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
He's currently trying to make money off the fact that he thinks Somali daycares are stupid and fraud-ridden and is selling a misspelled sweatshirt to make money. This man thinks he's better than everyone, and then he goes on a podcast, and in answer to one of the easiest layup questions of all time, he goes, what? He shrieks, he's like, what do you mean by
I don't know the answer to the
benevolent? You're like, oh God, we're not, our country is not being screwed up by evil, smart, evil geniuses. It's just
chuds. It's just chud syndrome.
Chud in a tie.
Daddy's fancy boy styled as internationalist propagandist du jour is not that is not the leadership y'all should be looking for.
It's not even original racism. Like I said, this is like Timu the Gipper. We are not bringing our best and brightest. Maybe, Zach, the real fraud was the white men we listened to along the way.
And it's definitely cuts against my cultural interests, but like, guys, we're not even sending our best mediocre white men. Like the boys, we need to let's get back into the dugout and find a better pick. Can we get this guy like a haircut? Can we get this guy?
More and more people are not reading books. Women are reading books. Men are reading DraftKings.
You said draft?
What's a draft?
You said a draft?
What's a draft?
Is that the long-necked animal? This fucking idiot.
He's so stupid. And I think it just underscores what a stupid, violent time we live in. And I think we're going to look back on this. And I remember this from the first Trump administration when you'd be like, these are just idiots. And there are all these like viral, like, opinion people who are like, no, you got to think of it's like the 3D chess. Like they're doing this to distract you from the thing. And you're like, no, it's just fucking idiots who are being evil, doing whatever they want. There's no 3D chess. There's no subtext. It's all text. They're saying the quiet part out loud. It was never quiet. From the day Donald Trump walked down that escalator and called Hispanic men rapists, there was no subtext. It's been all text. And then people want to be like, because, and here's why.
Why?
Nobody wants to believe that they've been conned by idiots.
Totally. And you bought in. You bought stock in idiot.
Because, and it
idiot.
Still happens, and I'll say this when am I writing in my newsletter, I'm like, if Democratic elected leaders had done half of what Trump had done,
right,
we wouldn't have lost.
Amen.
Because, I'm not saying he does good work, but he gets it done. He says what he's going to do. He does it. And in the meanwhile, the pundits are all like, well, he's saying that, but he doesn't really mean it. And then he goes and he's going to take over Greenland. Yeah. Right? Like, this is just like a matter of time. And people are like, oh, he's just playing. And
I got French in-laws that are worried about being mobilized right now.
Yes.
There's genuine concern in other countries about the extent to which, do we have to defend this Danish landholding? Like, I
am so concerned. My brother's in the army. He's getting deployed in a couple of months. Where's he going to go? I don't know. This is going to be
deployment
stupid.
in Greenland?
What
the fuck?
Is he going to have to fight your relatives? But that's the thing. But there is a pundit class that has to try to make it more complicated than it is, because it's too hard to admit that it is just really the stupidest, most banal, evil people running the world. And it's also a systematic problem, because stupid people don't get here through cleverness. They get here because the system favors white supremacy.
That's right.
And so it is so much easier to call a person evil and to blame everything on them rather than looking at that entire system of how they're created. Donald Trump goes, it doesn't matter. There is a whole system that supported him, that created him, and not just Republican politicians, but the press that soft pedaled stuff like this.
That's right.
Margaret Sullivan, Donald the Dove, Hillary the Hawk, right? Like, we're talking like some of our faves here are complicit in the soft pedaling of this like virulent white nationalism and misogyny that we're seeing play out today. And everyone's like, I just don't understand how this could happen. It's been happening for years. You just weren't forced to see it.
On my mind is that porch full of boxes of diapers, and the reality that the HHS has, the Trump administration has imposed a freeze on federal child care and family subsidies through the Child Care Development Fund. They're freezing temporary assistance for needy family funds for Minnesota.
Yes.
If you want to talk about trying to stop pain, to stop suffering in our neighborhoods, in our streets, these are part of the programs that help. Republicans always want to talk to me about childcare and how we're in places like Iowa, we're in a childcare desert. That extends across the country. There are not enough slots. They're too expensive. Families can't afford it. And the idea that you're going to claw back money, despite what we've talked about with the lack of evidence of real fraud, right?
Yes.
Despite the evidence that despite the obvious, what we all see, right? Which is just a strong man extorting, creating additional pain for families that just don't need it. Families that don't already are dealing with too much. It's a failure.
And the thing that is, I think, the reality on the ground is who is saving us. We are saving us.
Mm.
You know, when I was there, it's hard for me to talk super specifically about what I saw because I'm saving some of it for the book, and some of it I'm not saying because the activists asked me not to, you know, to protect their on the ground organizing. But I went to a meeting and I heard a lot of frustration with politicians where they were like, yeah, sure, Jacob Fry is like saying these things, but like, what's he actually doing? Sure, Walz is saying these things, but what are they actually doing? And the reality is the people who are doing the things on the ground are moms, are women, you know, are queer people. I went to a lot of like, you know, food delivery places. By and large, it is women, and it is women who are now juggling this because their schools are shutting down. Because they're, you know, when I went out to Minneapolis, the schools had shut down for a day. And because of the ICE raids, because of the violence, because ICE was taking violence to the schools. And so, you know, so like you're dealing with, these women have jobs, they have children, they now have children who are not in schools, they have daycares that are closing because workers are too afraid to come, or just closing in general because there's no money, because we don't fund daycare. And childcare in this country, but they're the ones showing up. They're the ones tailing ICE. They're the ones sitting in the Somali coffee shop in the front window, watching and waiting for ICE to come. And then you know whose body is in between the ICE agent and the owner of the store? That woman. You know, she's the one, and God bless, you know, call your manager kind of energy. That's what we need. But I think this keeps getting downplayed. And, you know, and Fox News is like the Antifa wine moms, which is like, it's kind of funny. And that's the sweatshirt I want to see in the world. And it's great. And it's also true. But like, it's not unique to this time. The community organizing has always been built on the back of women, and we are always the ones who are always going to save us. And you can argue, sure, there's like limits to political power, blah, blah, blah. I have no patience for that right now, because I'll tell you, if you're a politician, your front porch should be filled with diapers right now, and you should be delivering those too. And there are some, there are some, but it's like it's the state level, you know, senators and House members who are doing a lot of that work too. And I understand a lot of that has to happen quietly, but still, we are the ones who are going to save us from this. A
nice glass of Chardonnay tastes so much better when drunk from a balaclava.
Sharda, no way, ICE is going into my neighborhood.
Yeah, the only ice I want is in that glass.
Giantifa, the Pinot no ice, the Zinfandel infidels.
Oh, that's really good. Sorry.
The get your Shiraz out of my city.
Liz, with that, let's take a break. So Liz.
So Zach, I hear, despite me constantly making fun of your inability to play the games correctly, you have a game for me.
It's the comeback, Dingus. Dingus says what? Dingus says what? Dingus says what? It's my game. I made it, not you.
Dingus says what?
This is gonna be the best one yet. I got ripped apart last time by you and Taylor K. Phillips.
Say her name.
Say her name. The two of you ruined me about my ability to play games. So guess what?
Or just come up with games.
Guess what? I have a game for you, Liz. Do you want to play?
I want to play your stupid game.
My stupid little game. So like I said earlier, I watched so much of Squirrely Shirley's videos. Like I spent a frankly irresponsible amount of work time watching Squirrely Shirley videos.
That rodent Homo sapien cross.
And like I want to say the boy has range when it comes to like really trying to.
He was trying to go viral at all costs.
The boy
He's like, who can I throw under the bus to go viral? Literally,
he's throwing them under the bus and he's doing a TikTok dance over their bodies. I mean,
yeah,
he loves it. So I've prepared 3 headlines from his videos, and you're gonna guess which of the 2 are real and which one isn't real. I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy. Because they're all really fucking great. They're all insane. The first is Squirrely Shirley took a trip to a small West Coast town where he found that the city was giving homeless people $50,000 to purchase tiny houses. He then proceeds to overnight
nice.
in one of the tiny houses.
What?
You said it sounds nice?
That sounds nice.
A city gave them housing.
A city gave people unhoused people housing. And actually, studies show, big ProPublica research show, give an unhoused person a house, their mental health gets better. They get a job.
Weird that a home is the cure to homelessness.
It's shocking, but that's the way.
Gotta wait for the data to come in on that one.
Oh, we gotta see. Okay, so what's the next one?
Next one. Headline: Inside America's paid protesting scam. He goes from Squirrely Shirley goes from crowd to crowd. To his credit, he goes to a lot of protests. Yes. He hits the anti-genocide in Gaza protest. He hits the anti-ICE protest. He hits a bunch of protests, and he talks. Oh, when he talks to the folks, he talks to people who he, and I quote, suspects are paid protesters, who are potential paid protesters. The number of hedged ways that he uses to talk about these folks, he asks a bunch of them.
It's insane. He even hedges, just lie. Even it's never stopped you before.
These very well could be paid protesters. Let's go talk to them.
The insane thing is I do read a lot of Fox News and Newsmax for my job, which only feeds my mental illness. But they'll be like, this suspected paid protester, and it is like a super cute queer girl who was like, yeah, I just went to nonviolence training. Yeah. And they're like, nonviolence training? George Soros pay you to go. And it's like, that's not a trained paid protester. That's somebody who just goes to like a Zoom workshop to find out how not to get murdered by the cops. Oh my God.
So he goes from crowd to crowd.
Yes,
he goes from crowd to crowd. And guess how many paid protesters he found?
72.8.
Big goose egg. None. Not a single one. What he does end up doing is clarifying his YouTube video with a comment that says, I believe many of these people do in fact deeply believe what they are, but
that actually sounds,
they very well could be protesters.
That actually sounds
loser.
like he has a little bit of shame and allegiance to facts on that one. So what's the third? The
third is headline: Illegal immigrants are living for free in this city. In this video, to Squirrely Shirley's credit, my guy has pretty good Spanish language skills.
Well, because he's LDS. You're supposed to take languages.
I'm not big on throwing compliments to chuds, to well-established chuds. However, boys Espanol is pretty good.
That's good.
He goes with his surprisingly good Spanish. He goes from like he talked. There's this one interaction where he's like talking to a mother with a child who are stuck in the labyrinthine immigration system in this in Denver, Colorado. They're in this apartment complex.
Oh, it's Denver.
He confronts them, puts the kid's fucking face on this video. So you've heard three headlines: tiny homes, paid protesters, free living for illegals in this Denver, Colorado apartment complex. Which one of these sounds sounds the most ridiculous?
Oh, the most ridiculous. I think the one that sounds the most unlike him is the paid protesters one, because it feels like he has some sort of allegiance to the truth there. And that doesn't feel like our boy Shirley.
That's not our boy.
That's not our boy.
That's not our boy.
But also the staying the night in a tiny house, like, also doesn't exactly feel like him, because like what he would just like verbally abuse the unhoused people in the homes. Like, why would he stay in the home? So this is,
and I got too angry about his Spanish, his like very good Spanish language skills.
this is,
So
this is,
that's credulous.
this is a tough one, but I am going to have to go with the first one.
And you, Lyz, are the winner of Dingus Says What? Catch us next week for another edition of this very, very good game that I am very, very good at producing. Eat it, Lyz.
Dingus Says What? That was
you
good.
had fun. You
that
had
was
fun.
Good.
You had
that
fun.
was good.
And I only had to watch like 9 hours of this man's content to make it. So that's great.
Perfect.
Lyz, I wanted to end us on kind of a lighter note. We've been it's been a darker episode for good reason.
Yes.
Your following is deep and wide. Your following is deep and wide, and it like much like the Jordan River. I must cross it in order to get to the promised land where the beast.
Your preambles to things
are good. They're pretty good.
Insane to me.
They're really. I'm on one today.
That preamble was so insane. So in our Christmas episode, we talked about Beauty and the Beast, and I told Zach that the Beast is hotter than the Prince Adam. And he tried to fight me. And I said, no, this is accepted cultural lore. All women, and I feel all women identifying people, all people who are attracted to men believe that the Beast is hotter. And
can you begin the phrase with I am every woman and the beast is
I speak for the people when I say the beast is hotter than the prince. And this turned into a thing, and we asked people to call in to tell Zach he was wrong. So let's roll the tape.
This is from Jennifer.
Hi, Lyz and Zach. It's Jennifer from North Carolina. I have never felt so seen as when Lyz said that the beast is way better looking as a beast than in his human form. I remember watching the end of the movie as a kid and being like, really? This is the happy ending? This is the guy that like, it just didn't match. And I was very, very unhappy. Plus, all the teacups and bookcases and things turned back into people. And like, that just wasn't going to be as fun a life. And I did not see it as a happy ending. Was very let down, and now I know why over 30 years later. So thank you, Lyz. And yes, Zach, Lyz is completely and totally correct.
Shut that off. Sorry. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer.
Is correct. And Jennifer identifies a very interesting tension that so many people feel.
That Zach is wrong.
And we all feel that Zach is wrong, but at the end of Beauty and the Beast, it is not a happy ending. We are not happy. The movie should end when she walks down the stairs and dances with the beast, and its tale as old as time, and then everybody stays their little charming little character, and he's the beast, and they have like hot beast sex.
Okay, I don't remember that one from it, but AI slop, get to work.
It's what the people want.
This last one from Timothy.
Happy New Year, Lyz, and happy birthday from a fellow December 82 baby. I was hoping that maybe while I was 42, I would gain some insight into life, the universe, and everything, but alas. I have to say, I always assumed everybody thought that the beast was much hotter as a beast than as a man. But then I also thought that everybody was a little bit bisexual until I was in my 30s and went, oh. So what do I know?
Wow.
This is the most wistful voicemail.
Timothy, thank you so much. And I think what I appreciate the most is coming from somebody who seems to identify as man. Coming in to say Zach is wrong, and I love that. And here you need to know how wrong you are,
Lyz. I think you're right that it is time that we settle this grudge match once and for all. I think it is. I think it is true that your petty assault on me and my my very important take is driving division. It is making people say I'm wrong. And how dare you?
This isn't a both sides thing. You're just wrong. You're like a flat earther.
We are here. I brought you here for the vindication of Prince Adam. Noted smoke show from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. You claimed that he was hotter as a beast. And I think that there's a couple of pieces of evidence that that I think you need to sit with for a little bit. One, he has a ponytail and a Renaissance outfit. That's hot.
No. The beast also has those things.
Okay. This is actually not about opinion. This is the universal a universal framework for beauty that I've created for you.
This is like listening to a man argue for the earth being flat. Like this is like this is what like this is how I feel right now. I like this isn't a both sides issue. This is not, and also the beast has those things. He has
not the flat earth.
He has the okay, continue.
Ponytail Renaissance fit.
Noted smoke show. Noted by whom?
Thumbs, not claws. I'm gonna tell you, thumbs. Lest we forget, opposable thumbs, pretty important in the bedroom, if you will.
Yeah, it's not the only thing that's important in the bedroom.
Exhibit A.
I know a lot of guys with opposable thumbs who. Not working for him. That's all I'm gonna say. So give me claws any day if he knows how to use them. So he doesn't have claws. He has paws.
Liz, I want to bring your attention to this image that I will also put on screen. What are those?
Okay.
What are those backwards kneecaps that he's got on him?
Zach,
you're gonna tell me.
Have you seen the feet that men have? Have you seen men's feet? And you're trying to tell me that looks worse? At least that's how they're supposed to look.
That's how they're supposed to look, Elizabeth?
I have seen the feet of men that have looked so freaking disgusting, and they do nothing. At least the beast is a beast and he has an excuse. A human man has no excuse for how disgusting his feet look.
Elizabeth, he might be submissive and breedable, but he has those feet on him. You gotta in top of finding those clawing up your bed sheets. Shedding. Have we thought about shedding?
Once again,
have we thought about shedding?
You shared a home with a straight man.
Do I shed?
With their little beard trimmings everywhere.
I do. I have been in trouble a couple of times for leaving here. And
like, again, everything you're bringing up
is just a problem with men.
It's just a problem with men.
Our ponytails and our Renaissance fits. It's true. We do need to work on them. Okay, then
at least a ponytail belongs on a beast. I don't think Prince Adam's pulling that ponytail off.
Okay,
he looks like the kind of guy who would have been like, don't vote for Hillary because you're voting with your vagina, which is why I vote for Bernie Sanders. Listen, I like Bernie Sanders.
This is interesting.
I'm a huge Bernie Sanders fan, but I don't like that kind of guy who thinks he's better than a Republican, but is really just like misogyny with a Bernie t-shirt on. That is the type of guy. All women, again, will back me up on this. And I don't prefer it. Just give me the beast. Give me the raw beastiness of a beast any day. At least it's honest.
You waved away a ponytail. You thumbs down his opposable thumbs. You said shedding. Well, doesn't everybody? I give you this last one that I think will sell you. Generational wealth and an EU passport.
The beast has the generational wealth.
You can't fly like that.
Yes, you can.
You can't fly as an animal.
Yes, you can.
What? Maybe underneath.
He's my emotional support pet. I'll put the little thing on him.
It emotionally supports me for sure.
Yeah, emotionally supports my dick.
Hey yo.
No, come on.
So you're this.
Also,
I didn't convince you even a little bit.
No, not there's nothing because this is settled international law. This is like trying to argue with The Hague. Like you're coming in. Wait, first of all, too late. This is settled.
When did Beauty and the Beast come out? I didn't look that up.
I was little. And you weren't probably even born.
Yeah,
I must have been. Oh my God. It came out in November of 1991. It came out. I saw it.
Were you little?
I was born in 82. It came out right before my 9th birthday.
Okay.
I saw it in the theaters. My parents took me to see it in the movie theaters. I saw it when I was 9. So
that was your 5th incarnation. Sorry, because you were around when the old magic was made, right?
I am a mature woman. I am mature. And it was settled then. We all then, as a 9-year-old, I was like, the beast is hotter. We were all
It was everybody like that. So
yes.
I thought this was going to be
law.
I thought this was going to be the vindication of Prince Adam, the human boy. And as it turns out, I've been hoisted on my own petard.
It's settled law. And also there's a whole culture of thinking that Disney animated characters are hot.
Prince Adam is an animated character.
No, Disney animated animals are hot.
That's fair.
Disney animated animals.
What are the hottest Disney animals?
Thank you so much for asking me personally who I think the hottest Disney animated animals are. First of all,
everyone has been in the same way that everyone knew that the Beast was the hottest of the two. Everyone knew that they're only tuning into the show to know what your sexual predilections for anime animals are.
It's not anime. First of all, it's Disney. It's very different.
Come at me, weebs.
Well, this one is just universally true. We all agree on this one. Robin from Robin Hood.
Oh yeah,
that fox is hot.
Foxy.
That fox.
The way the smolder
hot. Oh my! And he robs the rich to feed the poor.
He has meaningful male relationships that are based on economic relationships and class consciousness.
My God.
Right? Yeah, I think we stand a short king. I think he is canonically short. Right?
Nobody cares. It doesn't matter if you're short. If you have male relationships and you're robbing the rich to feed the poor.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
Go rob the rich.
Go rob the rich.
Private property is theft. Get to work.
Yeah, let's go. It's not that hard. Dodger from Oliver and Company. He's that kind of mangy mutt that wears the sunglasses.
Do you have a photo?
Wow, I'm so glad you asked me.
You got to pull up your incognito window on Chrome.
And once again, he's a streetwise rogue.
I'm so sorry. This is your champion.
Look at it. Look at him.
Yeah, that dog fucks.
Yeah, he fucks.
That dog fucks. Damn.
Much like the tramp from Lady and the Tramp.
He's a tramp.
And I love him.
And
I wish that I could travel his way.
Love that song.
I don't want to sleep on the women.
Okay. Yeah.
Miss Bianca from The Rescuers. Classy. She has the little pillbox cap. She's a cute little mouse.
I'm so sorry. It's been a long time since I've watched The Rescuers. I have seen The Rescuers Down Under, though. Really fabulous.
Look at her. Isn't Eva Gabor does her voice?
Sorry, this Audrey serving Audrey Hepburn realness.
She's got that classic old movie vibe. I love her.
She's fine. She got them fine whiskers.
I also, if we're also talking about The Rescuers, and then her counterpart Bernard from The Rescuers is very handsome.
These are literal mice. I like that. So I think these conversations get weird when they're anthropomorphized animals. I like that this is just a mouse with eyelashes.
I don't think it's weird at all. Simba from The Lion King. I mean, he's a little too Glenn Powell for me, but
Hilarious.
Nala from The Lion King. Whoa.
What a woman.
They did not have to make that lion that hot.
What a woman. They really Lola bunnied that bunny. Nala is her name?
Nala. So there's just these are all canonically hot animals from Disney movies
that are so much hotter than.
Yes. Yes. And
Poor Prince Adam. Justice for Prince Adam.
I'm not even bringing Zootopia in here because Zootopia, there's one scene in Zootopia where there's this really hot tiger in it. And if you hold on.
Yeah, pass. I will not have any opinions about the movie Zootopia on the internet, extant on the internet. Refuse, cancel, click out of that screen.
Look at this guy. And this is like a thing. Like, this is from a Reddit post that says, I feel like not enough people are talking about the bunny doesn't notice how hot this tiger is. Like, look at this.
Yeah, he's like a scientist.
Look at, he's hot. He's reading his little iPad.
He has really kind eyes.
He has kind eyes, and he's got that shirt that's tight over his tiger biceps.
You need to throw some water on it, dog. It's like 10 a.m.
Date in a long time.
Thanks for listening. Patreon.com/LizLenz is the home of Dingus of the Week, a Men Yell at Me production. Love or hate what you heard. Help us keep it coming. And here's what you can do to help out by not reporting us to the internet police.
ASPCA.
1, like and subscribe over on our YouTube. 2, rate and review us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps out a ton as we're trying to grow this show. 3, share an episode with a friend. I know you got one. Share it with them. 4, and last, become a patron at just $5 a month. You can help us keep the show rolling each week. Have a dingus of your own and want us to talk about it, go to memo.fm/dingus. Send in your voicemails. We want to hear about Steve, that guy from the internet.
Memo.fm/dingus. Please send us your memos. I keep getting messages that these are people's favorite parts of the podcast. So please keep giving us your dinguses. Dingai, if you will. It's a made-up word. We can pluralize it however we want. Sure. Thank you to assistant editor Isabella Rosario, to the editor who must remain anonymous, and then to Laura Benitez and the Heartache for our catchy little song.
Dingus of the week, lost your paddle up shit creek. You're not smart, you're just an a-hole. Elon's calling from his K-hole. Read those racist tweets, tell lies about vaccines. Perhaps you'll be our dingus of the week. It's a race straight to the bottom, down so deep it's hard to fathom. Fascists all take turns fiddling as the nation burns. Like those history lessons you refuse to learn. Dingus of the week, the country's past its peak. We're all paying for your sin. Might as well let the brainworms win. You're wild, we can't have nice things. Time to bring back the guillotines. And now let's see